Welcome to See Gadget Review. Today we're going to be talking about Samsung. Samsung has been caught trying to sell their Samsung Galaxy Note Ultra 20 or Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, whatever you want to call it. Still, it is a Samsung Galaxy Note phone, the newest one that just came out. So this phone is cost $1,300. Now that's supposed to be the top of the line Note phone when it comes to the line of Notes, Galaxy Note phones. It's supposed to have a Snapdragon processor in the phone. It has been discovered that they are trying to sell, we're not trying to, but actually selling the phone with an Exynos processor in it in other parts of the world. So technically there are two versions of this phone and nobody really knew about it. So you have the US version that has a Snapdragon processor in the phone, and then you have the international version technically that has the Exynos processor. Now Exynos is made by Samsung, Snapdragon is made by Qualcomm. Between both chips, the Qualcomm is the better chip, the Snapdragon is the better chip. So what Samsung is doing is they're selling the Exynos with a different heatsink as well to keep the temperatures of the phone cooler, because Exynos is known for getting really hot and obviously, throttling and creating issues with the performance of the phone. Snapdragon is known for running cooler, and so they have a different heatsink on that phone as well. Now this creates an issue because nobody really knows that when you're buying the phone, it doesn't have a Snapdragon processor in it. You're assuming that it has a Snapdragon processor. Nowhere it says that it has an Exynos processor. And most people actually don't look at those things to begin with. So most people that buy the phone don't have a clue that when they're getting the phone, they're getting a phone that has lower specs than what they're expecting to pay for. You're paying top of the line money for a phone that is going to give you a lower performance than what you are expecting to get. Now this was discovered by the channel Jerry Rig Everything. Here's their logo. If you're not aware about what they do in this channel, is he checks the phone to make sure that it's sturdy. He always opens the phones to check the insides and how it's built and all these things. It's a really cool channel. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you check it out. So in the channel, he opens it and he discovers the problem with the phones. He runs a performance on the phone, and the Exynos phone, the international version of the phone, always comes last, or well, not last, but last comparing it to the Snapdragon. Every time that he runs a benchmark test on the phone is always slower. He says it's about 16% slower than the Snapdragon phone. I will be linking the video on the comment section, so you can go and check it out if you want to. You can see some of the images here. But yeah, Samsung once again is trying to charge more money for a phone that has lower specs. So the way Samsung keeps the Exynos phone cooler is they use a copper vapor chamber cooler on that phone, again because Exynos gets warmer, and they use a graphite thermal pad on that Snapdragon because the Snapdragon runs cooler. Now, if you have ever paid attention to any phone that costs about $1,300 or more, even less, they all come with a copper vapor chamber cooler in the phone. It's a better way to keep the phone cooler, last longer. So it's also for the life of the phone. When you are, even in the US, when you're paying top dollar for the Snapdragon processor, you're still getting cheaped out on that cooler that's in the phone, because you're getting the graphite thermal pad, which is not as good as the copper vapor chamber that comes on the Exynos / international version of the phone. So Samsung is really saving money, well, not saving money, I guess in a way saving money on both versions of the phone. When you buy the international phone, you get lower performance by having the Exynos chip, and they make money because they are giving you a cheaper Exynos chip inside, processor inside, and you are paying extra for the copper vapor chamber that's in the phone. In the US, you're getting the more expensive chip, the more expensive processor, the Snapdragon, but they're saving money because they're giving you the cheaper graphite thermal pad cooler in the phone. So whichever way is a shady way of doing business, it's a shady way of getting your consumers your product, fooling your consumers pretty much into thinking that they're paying top dollar for the best money can buy. Technically, that's how they're selling this phone. They're selling this phone as, hey, you're paying $1,300 for this Galaxy Note Ultra, you're getting the best of the best. Turns out you are not. Turns out they are cheating you. Turns out they are just, trying to make more money, which, hey, that's what companies do, that's what corporations do, but it's still not the way of doing business. On the video, he compares it to the performance of the Exynos version of the phone. He compares the performance to last year's Galaxy Note. So technically, if you live in an international market and you currently have the Galaxy Note of last year, which I think is a Galaxy 10, if I'm not mistaken, the Galaxy Note 10, then you're better off keeping that phone and waiting for next year, or waiting for them to address it and to fix it before buying that new phone, because you are going to be paying for something that is not worth the money that you're giving them. It's sad to see that Samsung, again, they are on a money grabbing scheme when it comes to their phones. Samsung does a pretty good product when it comes to their phones. I personally don't like Samsung phones. I don't like the skin they use on their phones. That's not my preference. But I can say that their products are usually good products, for the most part. So this is not a good thing that they're doing here. Hopefully they owned up to their mistake, and they address the problem soon, and then they stop sticking their chips into the phones that nobody wants, because that's what it is. Nobody wants an Exynos processor in their phone. If your phone has an Exynos processor, that is going to be a slower, inferior product. Therefore, they should be charging you less money for said product. Why not? If you want to use your Exynos product, then do a Galaxy Note Ultra with the Exynos product, and then you can make the one that has a Snapdragon processor in it, that Galaxy Note 20 Ultra Plus. I don't know, I'm sure you can come up with different names, Samsung, and then charge an extra $200 for the Snapdragon phone. And you have ways. Samsung, if anybody knows how to squeeze money from people, it is you. So I'm sure you can come up with a better name for the phone that has the ultra specs that you want people to pay for. But this isn't the way to do it. All right, that's my rant on the Samsung Galaxy Ultra 20 and their malevolent ways of trying to get money from you. Thank you very much for watching the channel. Subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much for your support.